Hey guys, and welcome to this edition of Scruff's Garage. So, as you can see me, back behind me, I've got new tires, wheels, and a lift kit to go on the Gladiator. So I thought it would be interesting to see what effect bigger tires has on the performance and the gas mileage of the Gladiator. I've got the Overland model, so I've got the 373 gears. I'm going to 35-inch Nitto Ridge Grapplers. So I'm going to do a couple of tests. I'm going to do a gas mileage loop. I'm going to get out on the highway. I'm going to fill it up, then get out on the highway. And there's a section of interstate. I'm going to run about 75. It's all should all be highway driving. I think the loop's going to be roughly 50 miles, and then I'll fill up afterwards. I'm going to do it with the stock tires, and then once I do the lift kit and tires and wheels, I'll go out and do it again, and we'll just see, did it make much difference, at least highway gas mileage, before and after. Also, I've got a Tazer Mini. You can set that up to time your 0 to 60 times. So I figured for fun, I'm not overly concerned about how fast the Jeep is, but to see what impact bigger tires has on the acceleration of the Jeep, I'm also going to do some time 0 to 60 runs, both with the stock 32-inch tires. They're just a highway tread, and then afterwards with the 35s, because obviously these are larger and they're much heavier. So stick around and let's see what we can find out. Okay, I thought it might be an interesting comparison to see the weight difference between the stock tires from the Overland, which are a 255 70 18. Hopefully you can see those. And we'll compare that with the 35 1250 Nitto Ridge Grapplers on Icon Rebound. These are 17 by 8.5 wheels. I can tell you these things are heavy, but let's see the weight comparison. So, there you go. So the stock tire is 61.1 pounds. So now let's do the same thing for the big ones. And these are, hopefully you can see that, 100.2 pounds. So a solid 41 pounds heavier per corner. So that's a big increase in rolling mass. Okay, we'll do a 0 to 60 run, stock suspension, stock tires. Bring the RPMs up a little bit. So that's a pretty good run. That was 7.98 seconds, 0 to 60. Had done it once before in a different spot. I got 8.12. So somewhere right around that 8 seconds, 8.1 seconds for a stock 0 to 60 time, I think is probably pretty accurate. So we'll do a comparison test with the 35s once we have those on. Okay, we've got the 35-inch Ridge Grapplers on here, still stock suspension, and we'll do a 0 to 60 test. Bring the RPMs up just a bit. Oh, got just a bit of wheel spin. So 8.58 compared with 7.98 with the stock tires, so 0.6 of a second slower. I think that's pretty much to be expected. We picked up about 40 pounds per tire, so obviously the larger rolling diameter, but an additional weight as well. Okay, just pulled out of the gas station, so I topped off the gas tank and going to reset the trip odometer. Hang on. There we go. So I'm going to jump out on the highway. It's pretty flat, and I'm going to try to average about 75. And then we'll circle back to the same gas station and fill it up. And we'll do the mileage by hand and see what kind of gas mileage we got. This is with the stock tires. Okay, I'm out on the highway. I just got started. Just thought I'd show you at 75 with 373s and the stock tires. I'm turning right at 2,000 RPMs in 8th gear. So we'll see how that does. Okay, so I just finished my mileage loop. So I drove 52.4 miles, and I just filled up at the gas station. It used 2.257 gallons. So that works out to 23.2 miles per gallon, which is actually really good. The highest I'd averaged, I'd done a previous trip down to see my parents, about an hour and a half each way, and I got 21 and a half doing that. But that was a little bit mixed driving, mostly highway. So a little over 23 with the stock tires. And honestly, I don't think I touched the brakes, but maybe one time once I got on the highway. I also counted how many times the transmission downshifted from 8th gear into 7th as I hit little inclines on the highway. Now, like I said, this is mostly a flat trip. No big, I'm not in the mountains or anything like that. It downshifted 19 times going there and back. I did the same. I went to the end of the interstate where it kind of ends, and I came back on the same loop. So 19 times. So once we get the 35s on here, we'll see how all of this compares. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've got the 35s on. I just filled up with gas. I'm leaving the gas station. Going to reset my trip odometer. There we go, we got 0 miles. So we're going to go out on our gas mileage loop. I'm going to set the cruise at 75, and we'll see how everything compares versus the stock tires. So stay tuned. Okay, so I just got back from my highway loop, 35s stock suspension. So according to this, I drove 51.2 miles, and if you can see this, I used 3.417 gallons, which means our gas mileage is really bad. 15 miles per gallon. I think part of that, so I counted the number of times it downshifted from 8th to at least 7th. It downshifted 28 times. Now, before the last trip, it downshifted 19 times. So 28, okay, a little bit more. But the key difference is when it downshifted before, it'd go to 7th, kind of get up an incline, and immediately go back to 8th. This time, I spent almost none of the trip in 8th gear. Almost the whole time it was at least in 7th, and a lot of times it downshifted even further, and I didn't count that as an additional downshift, but it would go down to 6th gear and hold it sometimes, and once, maybe twice, it even went down to 5th gear, which is like 4,000 RPMs. It's screaming. So yeah, that's why the gas mileage just drops off the face of the earth for the same type of trip. slowing down a little bit would help. Um, or I don't know if shifting it over into like the manual mode and locking it into 7th gear, I don't know if it would hold that or not. We'll have to play with it and experiment just a little bit. But I can tell you the additional weight and the additional diameter of going to 35s doesn't make that big of a difference. Like 0 to 60 around town, I don't think you'd notice it that much. It's certainly something you could live with. But out on the highway, man, it's a big difference. It downshifts even the slightest hint of an incline. You almost have to be going downhill for it to hold 8th gear. If it's not perfectly level, any slight incline, it goes down to at least 7th. If it's much of an incline, it goes down to 6th, and it will hold it there all the way up and then some. It really doesn't like to let go of the gear. I feel like it could upshift sooner, and that may be something that the transmission learns. I use my Tazer to recalibrate the speedometer for the 35s, but it may take some time for the transmission to learn all the shift patterns, so maybe that will improve. But right now I can tell you it's a big impact for highway driving, so it's something to keep in mind. I had lightly toyed with the idea of going to 37s, thinking like, oh, you know, if 35s aren't too bad, 37s can't be much worse. As they get taller and heavier, I think it would be an even bigger impact. So I'm glad I didn't go to 37s right now. So anyway, I may update this at a later point. Obviously, I just put these on today. This is the first trip I've done with them. Over the next days, weeks, months, year, we'll see if that changes any. But the good news is the tires aren't very loud, even on the highway. There's so much wind noise, it drowns out the tire noise. So at least that's a win. So anyway, I hope that helps.